Hi, namaste, welcome back. We are going to be working on the heart chakra today, and I am going to spend just a few minutes talking about the heart chakra because it is the one that gets dumped on from the time we were a little kid, right? The first time we didn't get the toy we wanted, when we were 2 years old. And then our dog died, or our parents got divorced, and then our best friend moved away, and all of these things start to build up, right? We get older, our boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up with us, we don't get in the college we want, we go through a divorce ourselves, and things just start to build up. And time, they say, heals all wounds. But if you haven't let go of the anger or the fear or the whatever you have accumulated from all of these issues, the time is just going to kind of dampen it, right? And then it's just going to keep coming up over and over again in relationships as you move on. So it's really important to let go of any kind of those issues that you have had with past relationships or disappointments or things like that. One thing I found the most profound and the most helpful is the act of forgiveness. And I'm not even talking just about forgiving other people, right? We have to forgive other people, even if we don't like what they did, even if we don't agree with what they did to us or to others, right? We have to just allow them to be who they are because we want to allow others to be who we are. And by no means is anybody perfect. We've all made our share of mistakes, and we all want to continue to walk forward and be clear of those. So we have to forgive. If we don't forgive, it's not going to hurt the other person. It's really going to hurt you by keeping that hatred or that anger or whatever it is in your heart that, for that other person. So to forgive them is to let go of that, blockage in your heart chakra, and that will do you some good. But the main point is to forgive yourself. I've done some things 20, 30 years ago that I may not be proud of, but I had to forgive myself for them, right? I couldn't keep holding on to that stuff. And I have excuses, right? I have a story of why I did those things, right? And the stories are bad. I'm not going to share them with you here. There are things that you hear about on the news, things that, people don't really talk about, right? But I had to come to terms with those things, and then I had to forgive the perpetrators of these actions against me, and then I had to forgive myself as well. The story I would like to share with you is that I had forgiven the person who had done something to me, right? But then over the years, I thought I was clear with that. I've forgiven them, that it wasn't an issue anymore. I moved on with my life. It's 35 years later, everything is great. But there was something still going on. And when I dug down deep, I hadn't forgiven myself. Not because I allowed that person to do something to me, because I was a little kid. I wasn't an initiator of this action. I wasn't looking for anything like that. But I allowed it to continue for 4 years. And although I was a little kid and I really didn't even know what was going on, but I could have told somebody easily. My parents were supportive parents. They would have listened to me. They wouldn't have pushed it under the rug or anything like that. But I didn't. For 4 years, I did not say anything to anybody. And even after the 4 years, when I was just sick and tired of it, I was, almost a preteen now, I never even told anyone. I just said, I'm not going there anymore. I just didn't want to be around that person anymore. And I never told anybody why. So that came to light 30 years later, that I still hadn't forgiven myself. And I wasn't even aware that I had to forgive myself. So sometimes we're not even aware that we have to forgive ourselves. But in the end, we just have to wipe the slate clean, right? You have a choice right now. Right as you're sitting there watching this video or standing there watching this video, you have the choice to draw the line in your life and say, I am not that person anymore. I am choosing not to let any of my stories rule my life anymore, right? Because I could still have that story and I could still share it with you, and you would say, oh, poor person, what, that's so terrible that happened to you in your life. And I could still be carrying that around to have sympathy, to have people go, oh, it's okay. I'm so glad that you're okay, and I'm so sorry that happened. But I don't want sorry energy, right? I don't have that energy anymore. That person would still be controlling me 30 years later if I was still allowing that story into my life. So it's your choice right now. Are you still going to claim your story of he did this and they did that and she did that and whatever it is that your story is? Or are you just going to draw the line and say, you know what, I'm done with these stories. This is a new me. I have let go of all that stuff. And I am going to forgive myself for whatever actions I did through my past. You know, if you have to call up some people and say you're sorry or whatever you got to do to make it right, do it and then move on with your life. If they don't forgive you, that's their issue, right? They have to carry that anger or that pain or whatever it is that they think you did to them. They have to carry that around with them. But you can call them and say you're sorry, or, you know, talk to them and say you're sorry, and just let it all go. So forgiving others and forgiving yourself is really the key for opening up the heart chakra, right? And not having attachment to anything, right? The heart chakra can be easily hurt because we're constantly giving our power away. You know, we want to be in a relationship. I want to manifest the perfect man, right? The perfect man who will love me, who will take care of me, who will, you know, have fun with me. All right, am I loving myself? Am I taking care of myself? Am I having fun with myself? Because if I'm not doing those three things, I'm not going to manifest a man who's going to do those things with me. I'm going to manifest a direct reflection of how I am treating myself. A lot of times we think we teach others how to treat us by the way we treat them, right? Do unto others as you'd have others do unto you. That's a great golden rule, and it's very powerful to live by. But just because you live by it doesn't mean that others are going to live by it, right? Here you are helping out your friends. You're there when they need to move. You're there when they need a couch to crash on. You're there when they need to come over and do some laundry. But now you need to come over and do some laundry, and they're not there. And you're like, well, what happened? You know, I was always there for you, right? So we don't teach others how to treat us by the way we treat them. We teach others how to treat us by the way we treat ourselves. Then other people see, oh, well, she, you know, like for me, example, I don't eat meat in restaurants. Yes, I still eat meat, but I have to make sure it's happy meat from a good life and a grassy farm and humanely treated and, you know, all those things. And then I will maybe have a piece or two of meat a month when I feel like I really need to get grounded or I need a little bit extra protein in my body. Everybody's different. Some people, you know, can eat only vegetables, and that's great, and most of the time I do, but I don't judge people if they only want to eat vegetables or if they only want to eat meat. Everybody gets to be who they are, right? And that's really the best part about being open, right? You want to be who you are, so you have to allow me to be who I am without judgment. If you don't want me to judge you, then you can't judge me. It's pretty simple, right? That's basically how it works, right? Attachment is also something we want to avoid in a relationship. I'm going to say it twice, and you can rewind it if you want to hear it again. But it's very profound. When you're attached to the outcome of your relationship, you will not give 100% because your subconscious is afraid of getting hurt. If you're attached to the outcome of your relationship, you will not give 100%. Because in your subconscious, you're afraid of getting hurt, right? So we can break that down a little bit. If I'm not attached, then it doesn't matter what the other person does, whether they choose to leave or whether they choose to be with somebody else. I'm not going to be hurt. I'm not allowing their actions to affect me because I'm not attached to them. Now, that doesn't mean I don't love them 100%. Actually, you'll love them more and you'll give them more love because you're not afraid of getting hurt, right? 95% of the things we experience and the decisions we make come from our subconscious. And our subconscious is conditioned with all this crap that we have built up over our lifetime, right? What we've heard on TV and what our parents taught us and our friends and peers and all the things we've read, right? So letting go of all that and understanding that you are just a beautiful, perfect individual on your own. You don't need anyone to complete you. If you are looking for someone to complete you, then you're putting way too much pressure on that relationship and inevitably it's going to break up. But if you are complete and whole by yourself and you meet another person that's complete and whole by themselves, then when you get together, you're going to have a relationship like you've never experienced because you're not depending on the other person to make you happy or make you fulfilled or make you have fun or, you know, all those things. Then when you get together, there's an abundance of love, an abundance of joy, an abundance of happiness, right? And you can set your ground rules. You know, you can be in a monogamous, loving relationship and still not be attached. Just be monogamous and loving, right? If you want to leave a relationship because you met somebody else, you want to be allowed to do so. If your partner wants to leave the relationship because he met somebody else, you have to allow him to do so. Without all the anger what are you going to do? Being angry is not going to keep them from going somewhere else, right? So be in communication with your partner. That's a throat chakra technique, and we'll work on that one next time. But, forgiving and not attaching, and just treating yourself with kindness, patience, respect, understanding, caring. The same way you would care about somebody else, you must care about yourself. That's the heart chakra, right? You care for yourself at a certain level. Other people will care for you at that level. You don't care for yourself. You don't take time. You're impatient with yourself. You're not forgiving with yourself. People are going to be the exact same way with you because they're going to see that's how you are and that's how they're going to treat you. So you make the decisions, all right? So letting go of the attachments, of the emotional stuff that we've been suffering from. The breath of life, we'll do that, right? The breath of life we discussed in the first episode, and that's really important. If you haven't seen the first episode or any of the episodes before this, you need to go back and look at them. Just watching this episode is not going to help you if you don't know the information from the other episodes before, right? This is a progression. It starts at the root chakra and works its way up. This is the heart chakra, but we need to start at the root chakra and work our way up to the heart chakra. So just watching this video might give you some insight and it might bring you some awareness, but it's not going to help anything unless you know the whole routine of what we're going through in this series. All right, so we're going to start with the breath of life in this routine. We did not do that for the power chakra because the power chakra was having some belly stuff and it was hard to do the breath of life. It's just really important to breathe just as easily as possible with those techniques. But in this technique now, again, for clearing, we're going to practice the breath of life. So I'm going to put up the chakra chart right now so that you can see what I'm talking about. So look in the out of balance column where you have the sadness, the grief, the broken heart, possessiveness, jealousy, attachment, right? And then look in the imbalance column. Love and compassion for one's self and others, right? Respect, mutual appreciation. This is for you and for the people in your life. So the breath of life is a way that you can move energy through your system. The first 3 videos were with the lower chakras, right? So in the lower chakras, we have the groundedness, the centeredness, the security, the creativity, the pleasure for life, personal power. So as we breathe in, we're breathing into our lower abdomen. We're pulling the energy up, right? You learned this in the first video. So you're going to fill up your lower abdomen, fill up your belly, fill up your lungs. Now, if your sternum is down, you will not be able to pull this power up through your body. You need to keep your sternum up. That opens the pathway so that you can pull this power. What we're doing is we're moving this power from the lower chakras. We're drawing it up all the way through our body. As we fill up our lungs, we're escorting it up to the top. And as we exhale, we're bringing it back down. So if you need a visual for this technique, I want you to look at the chakra chart. And as you inhale, I want you to look in the imbalance column. So you're going to inhale this column, groundedness, centeredness, creativity, personal power. You're going to keep inhaling, bringing it all the way up to the crown. And as you exhale, you're going to bring it back down and out the root chakra through the out of balance column. This is how we get energy flowing through our system to start releasing these blockages, right? We inhale this way, bringing this up, exhale through here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. It's a circular breathing pattern. And the mantra that we used to kind of connect with this breathing pattern is inhaling fresh, clean, healing energy, exhaling everything that doesn't serve me. Inhaling fresh, clean, healing energy, exhaling everything that doesn't serve me, right? So this is the breathing technique that is the beginning of being able to clear emotional blockages. The movements that go along with this breathing technique help you clear the physical blockages, right? If you have lower back pain, if you have heart aches, if you have neck and shoulder pain, if you have, different pains and aches throughout your body, it's probably because of a blockage in that certain part of your body, right? So the heart chakra can lead to heart disease, heart attacks, breast cancer, all these kinds of things. If you're stuck in this sadness, in this jealousy, in this attachment, you can get diseases in this area of your body. So it's really important that we let these things go as soon as possible. Right? So the techniques we're going to do are some stretching techniques for this area of the body to start opening this up so that we can actually move this energy center. And one of the most important things, as you learned from the first video, is to keep your sternum up, right? You don't want to arch your back. right? You want to tuck your pelvis under. So it's not pushing it forward either, because we need to be in touch with the root chakra in order to bring that up, right? If we have our back arched, if we have it forward, the root chakra is not in alignment. So we got to tuck it in, right? Getting grounded, and then we lift up the sternum. So now all our chakras are in alignment. So when we do the breath of life, we're pulling this energy up, we're drawing it up through the body, and we can bring it through the heart chakra, all the power, all the healing energy, bringing it all the way up to the crown. And then as we exhale, we bring it back down and out the root chakra, just like I showed you on the chart, right? So you can look at that chakra chart while you're practicing, and you can imagine that circular breathing pattern. In the end, this isn't about imagining, this isn't about thinking, this isn't about thinking about breathing. This is about doing. It's about feeling the breath. It's not about thinking about feeling the breath, right? There's a difference between thinking about feeling and actually feeling. So this is a moving meditation that you're learning throughout this series. Eventually, you're not going to think. You're going to go through all the movements with the breath work without thinking. It's just going to take a little time to learn it. You know, while you're learning, you have to think, but afterwards you can stop thinking and just do and just be. All right? So the first movement we're going to do for the heart chakra is, I love to do it, it's called swimming. You know, it's just the backstroke, and it's in a very relaxed state. If you've been watching the videos, you know that most of these movements are very relaxed movements. They're not like yoga. You know, yoga is a practice that you hold, right? You're holding these poses. Your muscles are stiff. You're holding on tight, right? Tantra, which is where these techniques come from, is a technique about letting go, right? We want to let go of the tension. So we're learning how to let go through awareness of where we're holding tension and where we're holding dis-ease, right? So the heart chakra, holding a lot of stuff, as you saw on the chakra chart. So one of my favorite things to do, and I do these movements throughout the day. You know, I'll do them in between clients. I'll do them in between phone calls. I'll do them if I'm sitting at my desk for a period of time. I'll just get up. I'll start doing some of this stuff just so I can let go of the tension that I'm holding on to, that whatever situations has created. And I recommend you do the same thing. Like I said, don't try to do it 20 minutes at night or sometime in the morning. Get yourself to doing it throughout the day. All right, so I'm going to turn sideways so you can see my posture. Pelvic tilt is under, sternum is up, and I'm really just going to keep my arm relaxed, not tight, because when you keep your arm tight, you can only go around this far, right? But when you keep your arm loose, you can really stretch it out, and you can look backwards, right? And you twist your body, and you just kind of scoop, and you scoop, and you scoop. And I want you to twist your whole body. I want your bottom half of your body to be in that root lock position. You're tight down here, you're grounded, but the top half of your body is flowing. You're just breathing, you're just releasing. You're gonna feel some crackling in your shoulders, right? That is natural because you're all tense up here. The more often you do this throughout the day, the less of this tension you're gonna be holding. You're gonna start getting looser and looser, especially if you remind yourself to keep your sternum up, right? When you're sitting at your desk and you're starting to feel this, what do? Lift your sternum. That will release that tension, right? If you can't seem to keep your sternum lifted and you keep slouching down, get up. Do some of these movements, right? To get those muscles to relax a little bit so that you can have more control and you can sit up straight. And once you sit up straight and you're doing the breath of life, you're inhaling fresh, clean, healing energy and you're releasing everything that doesn't serve you. This technique works instantly for anxiety, aggravation, people are bothering you, right? You can instantly go to the breath of life. Even if somebody is bothering you right now, right? You can go to the breath of life and just almost not even, you want to acknowledge them because they're obviously talking to you. Maybe it's your boss or your child and you don't want to not acknowledge, but you don't have to receive that energy into your heart. Right? You can just inhale the fresh, clean, healing energy, exhale whatever is not serving you, their stuff, immediately. And it keeps you healthy too. You know, I haven't been sick in a long time because even if I'm in a room with people who have a cold, I will be inhaling fresh, clean, healing energy and exhaling everything that doesn't serve me so I don't catch a cold. I get rid of it before it even can hold on. So using these techniques throughout the day, you know, be in awareness of what people are spewing at you and not accepting it into your heart chakra. All right, another technique I really like for the heart chakra is it's almost like a warrior pose, but obviously warrior is about holding on, right? We're in this warrior pose in yoga. This technique again is about surrendering, and you're going to see the difference. So it's similar to where we're going to put one foot forward and one foot back. We're going to face forward in whichever position that is for you. I mean, I'm going to do sideways so you can see me better, but you're going to face completely forward. You're going to lunge onto your knee, so that you're having a little bit of a stretch back here and a little bit of engagement of muscles here. Nothing too much. You know, we don't want to, this is not a pose where you're all tense and you're holding. You need to be relaxed. Distribute your weight evenly. In this position, you want to keep your pelvic tilt under. You don't want your butt out here. You don't want to be way back here. You want to keep that root lock in, and you want to keep your sternum up, right? So now you're going to do the breath of life. You're going to inhale the energy up, you're going to bring it back down, and you're going to do the movements on the exhale, right? Because on the exhale is when we're releasing everything that doesn't serve us. So that doesn't mean only emotionally, that means physically too. We're going to inhale fresh, clean, healing energy. And then we're going to exhale everything that doesn't serve us. So in this pose, the opposite arm from the leg goes up and this arm goes back, right? So now we're in this pose, but if you notice, I'm not up here. My arms aren't tight, my shoulders aren't tight, I'm not tight. I'm relaxed, right? You want to keep your shoulders down. You want to keep your arms loose, right? You're just in this pose, right? You're going to stay with your breath in this pose. You're not going to hold your breath, right? So I'm inhaling. Now watch what happens when I exhale and relax. I've probably stretched myself a whole bunch more. I don't know, 2-3 inches, right? I was here, I was holding, and then I exhaled and relaxed and I stretched, right? This is opening up the heart chakra. It's the same thing with the other side, right? Then you do the other side, inhale, and opposite arm. Relax the shoulders, everything is relaxed. Take a deep breath. And stretch, right? You see how much more I opened up, right? I've really opened this up. This is not a matter of stretching here. It's a matter of stretching here. You're opening up from here. You're twisting maybe a little bit, right? So because I can feel this up my side and my back. I feel it here. I feel everything just opening up in this pose, nice and relaxed in this pose. Not all tense up here, nice and relaxed, right? Because if you're tense, you can't stretch out. When you relax, you could stretch out more. You really get to open up. It's the same thing with the swimming, right? The arms are completely relaxed, but you're really opening up right here, your pectoral muscles, which are going to hurt when you keep your sternum up. You're going to have the pain in here, the muscle ache, which you need to go through. But when you do this movement, that really opens this up, and it really allows that muscle ache to kind of, it's almost like a massage for your muscles. So those are the two poses for the heart chakra. So we're going to learn one more technique for the heart chakra, and I really like this one. It works with balance too. I love to work with balance. As we get older, we need to work on balance so we're not falling and breaking a hip, you know, especially if you're living in an icy cold place where there's ice. You know, you want to be able to catch yourself and not slip and fall. So balance is a really important thing to do. This technique right here also works with balance, because you don't want to spread your legs really wide. You want to still keep them in alignment, which is going to challenge your balance a little bit. But this one is a really good one for balance. So again, we're doing the breath of life. We're doing the movement on the exhale only. And what we're going to do is we're going to raise our arms as we exhale, but we're not going to engage our arms, right? We're going to keep them loose. And we're going to continue breathing in this pose. You're stretching your torso, right? This is going to lift your upper body up off of your lower body. It's going to relieve backache. It's going to relieve any cramps because you're lifting yourself up, right? So let's take a deep breath. Exhale, raise your arms, stretch your torso. Keep your pelvic tilt under. Keep your sternum up. Stay with the breath. Find a focus point right between your hands, right? You want to make a little triangle with your hands. Put it up here. Find a point to stare on at the ceiling, because on your next exhale, with your knees loose, you're going to go up on your toes, right? Now, look how balanced I am, right? I'm up on my toes, my knees are loose, my pelvic tilt is under. I'm staring at a spot which is helping me maintain this balance. I'm breathing, I'm not holding my breath. I'm just staying in this pose, stretching my torso, my arms are loose. My rest of my body is relaxed, knees are loose, pelvic tilt is under, just breathing, relaxing, stretching. And then on the exhale, slowly coming down. Right, so that is a really good all-around stretch for the middle chakras, right? It's really lifting your energy up, inhaling, bringing it up. You know, hold this pose for a breath or two, then go up on your toes for a breath or two, then come down as you exhale. All right, and right now I'm feeling like I want to do jumping up and down a little bit, and I don't know if I've shared this in the previous videos because it's a little time in between these videos, but I'm going to share it with you this time. And this is a technique I really love because it gets the heart chakra going. All right, if we're not cardio people, if we're not out there working out in the gym, riding the bike, running up and down the basketball court or the football field, soccer field, whatever, we need to keep our heart chakra strong. It's a muscle as well, right? We can keep our whole body strong, but if we're not doing cardio, our heart will poop out on us, right? So maintaining a good cardio routine for your heart every day is really important, just as important as anything else. So this routine, as a lot of the other ones, it works with gravity. Right, we did some dangling down in a previous video, which worked with gravity. We did a few more gravity things in the earlier videos. If you haven't watched them, please make sure you go watch them before you finish, before you move on with this one. But this is also working with gravity. So if we have this stress and tension in this part of our body, right, we can release it by jumping up and down. Right, now if you can't jump up and down, you can get up on your toes and fall heavily. Right? The key to this is the landing. You want to fall heavily because when you fall heavily, gravity will take this right out of your arms, right? Now, if you can jump up and down, I don't want you to be lazy, right? Because being lazy isn't going to help you. I want you to really jump, right? But look at how my arms, I'm not moving them, they're moving. Now, this is how every time I land, this stuff goes right out of my arms. If I'm like this, nothing is moving. Well, some things are moving, but not the tension, right? So you gotta let go and you gotta you can't move your arms because if you move your arms, you're engaging your muscle, right? Muscle and movement. So that's creating tension. But if you allow your arms to bounce up and down, every time you land, this stuff will come right out of your fingertips, right? You'll get your heart rate going. Stay with the breath of life while you're doing this, right? It's just like those joggers who are out there jogging the marathon. How do they keep their breath? They're doing the breath of life, right? So that you don't get tired while you're jumping up and down. You jump up and down, in the beginning, maybe you can only do it for 30 seconds, or maybe you only have 60 seconds. You don't have a lot of time to do it. But literally, you could jump up and down for 10, 15 minutes and just let all of the tension go of your body if you do it properly, if you allow gravity to just take it out of your body every time you land, let it out. And if you want to practice, go in front of a mirror so you can see, are your arms flopping around, right? Are you landing heavily? And then, just work on it. A lot of people in my classes, they come and this is how they're jumping, and I'm telling them, loosen your elbows, let it go, and they just can't. They don't even have comprehension of what I'm talking about. They see me doing it, but they themselves can't do it. But don't beat yourself up, right? That's just your conditioning. That's what you've been living with for the years. So now it's just time to be aware of what you're doing. Get in front of a mirror, practice daily, do all the things daily practice. Love yourself, be kind to yourself, be compassionate, be patient, and start releasing the blockages of the heart chakra. Thank you. I love you. Namaste. We'll see you again soon.